And we are live. This is Travis from Carter Cow Capital, helping you fight for your financial freedom throughout the Forex market. I hope everybody's doing very well on this Monday evening. Hopefully, everybody end up having a very good trading day overall. As we go through the disclaimer, what we're going to end up doing is taking a look at 30 minutes worth of time, being able to see if we have any trading opportunities. If there's no trading opportunities, then obviously we'll call it quick, and then after that, we'll look to be able to do it again in the morning. Uh, as we go through and get everything else situated. Like always, for some reason, if we're taking a look at, if we're having problems being able to send out messages in which, whoa, okay. So can I post a message? Um, okay. All right. Well, um, let's do it like this then. Um, that's weird. Okay. So let me try this out real quick. Evidently, it said that I cannot post a message, but I can be able to do a live stream, which is weird. But all right, cool. So we're going to work through it. Let me go ahead and go through the disclaimer. Then after that, we get through everything else like that. I'm not a CTA, so I'm not going to tell you whether to buy or to sell. What I'm going to do is teach you education, and from the education, you can be able to make your own informed decision. Now, understand that trading involves risk, involves risk of being able to make money, also involves risk of being able to lose money. So please keep that in mind. And understand that past performance is not indicative of future results, which means that if you end up making money yesterday, it's not promised that you can end up making money today. Uh, Comment status, unsolicited advertising. I didn't place any ads. That wasn't an ad. That was okay. All right, whatever. That's stupid. All right, so we got to put myself onto the screen. I hope everybody's doing very well. There we go. I want to see if everybody can be able to see me when it comes down to the charts and everything else like that before we end up getting started. If you are able to be able to see me, what I would end up saying, I want to come down to messages and everything else like that. If you would go ahead and go to the Discord area. Obviously, we have the free. We end up having a free area for us being able to go in and being able to take a look at that, and being able to place that information in. And any messages that I end up seeing from there will actually end up. I actually end up being able to see those a little bit easier. Quite frankly, it needs to be primary, and we'll see how everything's going from there. Rich, what's going on? Uh, hey, Rich, you got me in trouble. That's funny. Uh, it's all your fault. I'm gonna blame it on you. That's what it is. But hope everybody's doing very well. I see Brian. I see Rich. Obviously, I see Veggie Driver, but I know that's Jay Black. Hope everything's going on with all of y'all. We'll take a look at what's going on with the charts, for the messages and everything else like that. If you would, if you are a part of the Discord, just send it through the Discord in the live stream question area, and I'll go ahead and start talking about it, and being able to go from there. Um, Today was kind of weird. Nah, not even that. It was hey, one of our Discord members, Rich Alpha Crypto, brought this to our attention as a potential move. That's all I ended up saying, and they ended up saying, hey, you were soliciting your Discord. I just said, hey, um, one of our members brought it to our attention. That's exactly what ended up happening. I didn't solicit anything on that one, but all right, cool. Uh, it is what it is. Hasn't been the first time, won't be the last, I guess. Um, which still doesn't make any sense. Let's take a look at the economic calendar, see what's happening when it comes down to that overall news, and see how the market's going to end up reacting off of that. Then after that, we'll kind of go through and kind of take a look at everything else. Today was a fairly up and down day. We end up having Germany end up having their BME composite PMIs and their manufacturing PMIs actually end up being negative. The Eurozone end up having their PMIs that end up being negative, and then after that, the pounds end up having their services PMIs that end up being negative as well. But if you take a look at how the market actually ended up reacting, It kind of just went kind of like everything's pretty much the same. It ain't no news, anything not good when it comes down to it. Really not gonna end up paying attention to most of it. So uh, I just rambled, really just rambled off of that one. I was talking about the BTC trade, but in my link, the way that I end up explaining it was that hey, um, the upside was in a prime area, and I literally ended up writing one of our members, and I ended up giving you credit for being able to bring it up because that's exactly what ended up happening. But all right, cool. Uh, no credit for you the next time. Jeez. Let's go ahead and take a look at the big pairs and let's see what's going on with that. Then after that, we'll kind of go from there. We'll start off. Matter of fact, we'll start off with Bitcoin because it's the first thing that we end up taking a look at. We end up taking a trade off of this one at what was the number? I think it was. I think I'm still in it. To be honest, I'm almost for certain I'm still in it. I don't think I've made a change off anything. Uh, where are you at? Where are you at? Okay. I end up getting in at 19,426. Currently, the market is at 19 to 86. The reason why I ended up taking a look at this overall trade was there was a triangle that was actually shown off of this movement. And based off of that, the market ended up breaking out and then retesting in that overall area. Typically, when you end up having a breakout, you will typically have a retest. And based off of that retest, the market ends up breaking to the upside. It will continue being able to move up to the upside. Now, with that being said, this market has shown that there has been a little bit of a triangle when it comes down to that upside and downside movement. The expectation was that we were probably going to end up seeing a break to the upside. If it was to continue being able to do that, taking looking at being able to get out at 20,351. Now, with that being said, the market has not moved as much when it comes down to, or the market really didn't move all of that much. It did fall down, but it didn't fall down as much when it came down to that overall U-turn. Now it's just okay. Let's see how the market's going to end up playing itself out over time when it comes down to this movement. I am still in the trade. Stop loss is at 18,800. I still feel pretty good about that as long as the market stays above that counter trend line to the upside. Um, and then after that, look at being able to get in. My entry on the chart was posted at 19.9 though. Yes, it was. The reason why I got in was because of the counter trend line break that I ended up seeing off the 1 hour. I ended up seeing it based off of this, and I got in on an early entry based off of that movement right there. So I feel good about it. I still feel good about it. And as long as the market does not break below, if the market does not break below, what's that number right there? The market breaks below the midpoint at 19,086, so 19,100. Then after that, I probably get a little bit. I probably would get a little bit more tempted to be able to early exit. But for right now, I feel pretty good about it. I'm going to stay in where I'm at right now and just kind of let it ride. We're in consolidation. Obviously, we looked at it from a daily perspective. We're in a large sum consolidation. And, typically I don't take a trade like that when it's in a large sum consolidation. But overall, it's still kind of maneuvering itself as we are taking a look at it. Let's take a look at the United States dollar index. United States dollar index, this is what's happening. Market from a weekly perspective is still showing a little bit of consolidation when it comes down to this movement. I do expect that this market is going to fall at some point in time. 13,411 is the overall space where I would say look at being able to get in for the overall trade to the downside. If it does happen with being able to get out right before the overall past resistance turning future support at 13,300. I do like that move to the downside if it does happen. Now, from a daily perspective, we see that the market is somewhat into the middle of the buy zone, or basically, I'm sorry, yeah, it's basically at the buy zone. If you look at this from an 80% standpoint, it would be in the buy zone, which means that there could be a chance that the market could start to be able to push up to the upside. Remember, there's not going to be it's not going to end up being any news when it comes down to the market until I believe Thursday. That's going to end up affecting the United States dollar overall. So being able to see how this market kind of reacts, I would like to see this market kind of push up a little bit more before being able to fall down. If that does happen, that 13,411 number would be intact for us being able to fall and being able to have a little bit more of a push. With that being said, it has to be some type of catalyst. Until there's a catalyst, there's really no move to be able to make. And I think the catalyst that may end up happening will be on Thursday if the market does make that movement, which will end up being GDP day. All right, so just keep that in mind as we go through and be able to make some type of activities for us that. But because market's in consolidation, there's really no move to be able to take off of that. U.S. oil. U.S. oil is back inside of consolidation. It's very simple. There's no trade to be able to take because of that. When the market went into consolidation, I believe on what was that on Friday, and kind of broke down to the downside, it made it kind of hard to be able to jump inside of a move on that one. So we're at a point to where we can actually be able to place in our pending orders. Pending order will be at 87.25 for the buy. Pending order for the short will end up being somewhere around 82.50 for us being able to make a move to the downside off of that. And the question would be, if it does fall, where is it going to go? If it falls 77.11, we'll be back in play. If it does break to the upside, obviously that 95 number, 95 number or 94.60 would be the number where I would look at being able to get in at. Get out at when it comes down to buying. Okay, so that is pretty quick when it comes down to those movements. I'm going to leave it inside of the chat box for the people that would like to be able to write a message or be able to see what type of trading pair that they'll be interested in. Do me a favor, go ahead and place that in now. Obviously, not able to send out messages today, but obviously I would like to be able to see what is on people's minds when it comes down to different positions and being able to get in. While y'all do that, I'm going to go ahead and take a look at US 30. If you were inside of the morning session of US 30, you end up taking a buy based off of Dow Jones a little bit earlier. And quite frankly, this is the time to be able to go ahead and exit out of that trade. There's really nothing to be able to do for us being able to make a move to the upside. We took a buy entry at 31,230. The market ended up going up to 31. Market got as high as 31,607. So wasn't a bad move. It's just now that it's time to exit. It's time to be able to get out at this particular point. Go ahead and take your profit. Go ahead and move forward. If you end up doing that, congratulations to you. That should have made it a green day for you. My algo system ended up, it's kind of funny. I ended up taking a manual entry. The manual entry ended up winning. The algo system ended up taking a buy right when the market ended up making this big fall. So it took out half of my profits from there. I was able to get back in just a little bit to be able to recover the losses that I ended up having, which was pretty decent. That got me up to 607. And right when the market ended up breaking the counter trend line break to the upside, I ended up getting out of that early. I had too much stuff going on, so I really couldn't message anybody, but that was where we're at right now. Now, let's go ahead and talk about what we can be able to do with this. Keep in mind, daily, it's in the sell zone. And I think that's the reason why we're starting to see a little bit more people starting to get in for us being able to take movements to the downside. Ooh, excuse me. Sorry. Taking movements to the downside. I do expect that we probably might end up having another push to the downside overall when it comes down to movements and being able to make a thought process off of that at this particular point. Now, we take a look at this based off of a 15-minute standpoint. We can see that obviously we took that trade, but really now the free run area that I was interested in being able to make a move off of was the 31,450 area. Obviously, we ended up taking a trade here at 31,230, but 31,450 was the area where I thought that we were going to end up having a little bit more of a better free run area in that open pocket based off of that little ellipse that we had right there. So the market ended up pushing inside of that area, but it did not hold for a very long time. And I think the reason why it didn't hold for a very long time is simply because you take a look at what ended up happening going all the way back until September. The resistance of those three separate consolidation areas were right around that 601 number, and it didn't break. It didn't break that number. We ended up having a lot of people basically start to sell off in that area. So Unfortunately, no trade when it comes down to that at this particular point. I can see the market starting to fall down, but until then, I don't think that there's really nothing to be able to do at this one. The market is starting to show that it's starting to move from being in vortex type of trades to actually being able to show continuation and counter trend line breaks. So we might have to start being able to have a mindset of being able to get into continuation counter trend line breaks and starting being able to move up. Obviously, we got one right there. We've seen another one right here. I've seen a third one right there, and obviously we end up getting. We're looking at a fourth one that could potentially end up happening. So obviously, the vortex strategy does work and being able to do that in any type of position, but I think that the market behavior is starting to act a little bit different when it comes down to movements as well. So retracements and counter trend line breaks to be able to get back in might end up being the move also for this one. Let's go ahead and take a look at SPY. Let's see. What broker do you use? I still got a chart from this one. Okay. Okay. Let's see if I remember what I said. All right. From a weekly perspective, markets in the buy zone. We're seeing the market start to have a little bit of retracement. So we had a breakout. We never truly had a full retest. I think that we might end up seeing that the market may be ready to retest off of this movement to the upside, which means that I think that we might end up seeing some bullish movement. Now, we take a look at it from a daily perspective. There was some consolidation that ended up happening. We talked about this movement last week sometime, or when was this? In early September sometime when the market ended up falling below 389. We said that we can be able to get out right around 380. That ended up happening for a full take profit. So congratulations to the people that ended up taking that. Now, currently, what I'm looking at and seeing is that we have a solid bit of consolidation that we have to be able to pay attention to, or basically a solid breakout of that consolidation that we have to be able to pay attention to. Remember, typically when there's a breakout, there'll end up being a retest. But that was the consolidation area that I ended up seeing from there. Currently, the question is, where's the market going to end up going? Obviously, we're in a big push to the upside. And basically ran back inside of that vortex area, but it's doing the same thing that US 30 is doing. It has like this little pocket of overall area from 379 all the way up to 382 that could be taken advantage of. But right now we end up having our first retracement off of this one. So if it does push back up past that 379.30 area, then I would consider being able to get in when it comes down to that movement. Currently, right now, there's really nothing to be able to do off of that. At least not right now. Before being able to make a move off of that, unfortunately. 15 minutes telling me that there should be some selling, but obviously we look and see that the buyers start to buy it right back up once that happened. And also the market's already done broken out and then retest on this move already as well. There goes your breakout. There goes your retest right there. I think we're on a full continuation mode to see this market kind of finish that de-extension before being able to truly break out or truly being able to truly break back up to the upside. So SPY not doing anything with at this particular point in time. While we're doing that, let's talk about XVX 500. Let's see. I'll come back to that. Yeah, I'll come back to that. XVX 500. Like I stated before, I think that we're starting to see a different market behavior and a different strategy that you can be able to take advantage of. Counter trend line break, big push to the upside. Counter trend line break, big push to the upside. Counter trend line break right here, big push to the upside. We're starting to see that this market is really kind of trending a little bit more than anything else instead of going into consolidation and then after that having a big breakout when it comes down to that movement. Now, the question is, where's this joker going to go? If you look at what ended up happening in our previous consolidation box from September 4th all the way to September 7th, that I had a green day array there. Um, I'm going to call it a red day, even though it was a green day. Um, I gave up too much profit on US 30 on that drop. The algo system turned it into a red day, even though it was a slight win. Algo, but it is what it is. Mm-mm-mm-mm. All right, so let's look at fibs and let's see where this joke is going to go. All right, so there was your first push. Market ended up hitting the extension. Here's your second push right here. Market ended up having a pretty good 5-0 retracement. Market could go up to 38.71. 38.71 basically it's in the middle of that consolidation. The best free run space overall will end up being from 38.05 all the way up to 38.50, basically, or 38.45 if you want to be safe for a thing ever to make that move. That would kind of be the same type of trade that we look for on October 7th with the market breaking above 38.08 and then getting out at 38.50. So please pay attention to that. The same thought process and idea, um, that we end up having right here is pretty much the same that I'm looking at overall when it comes down to this movement. Let's see, 38.08, 38.08, 38.08, 38.08. Yeah, I got caught on a fake break, like right at 9:30. Well, I think right at 10 o'clock. Market ended up pacing me right in and literally got straight in the drawdown and lost within 3 minutes. Um, no trade at this particular point on XPX 500. Nas, let's see what's going on with that. Like I said, today might be a quick one. I say today might be a quick one. I'm looking at the time. We don't went through 22 minutes, which is funny. What's going on, Steve? Hope everything's going well. Hopefully everything's going well with your silver, like always. Slight red day for me. Yeah. If it wasn't Lily, if it wasn't for the algo system, I would have been up. I probably would have been up maybe 2% overall. But it is what it is at this point. The one thing that I do like about what's happening with Nas 100, as I take a look at this overall chart, let's go back to the weekly real quick and let's see what's happening. But I tell you what I like. Um, One, we had an engulfing candlestick. The market is retesting its overall candlestick to the upside, which is basically providing and saying that the market is bullish, which is a good thing. From that retracement that we end up having from a daily perspective, we can see that the market has broken a inner trend line, counter trend line break. There goes your outer right there. Here is your inner right here. Market did break up to the upside. We had a little bit of a retest, and the market starting to push up from here. Now we're in decision area at this particular point. And what I mean by decision area, that means that obviously the market's either going to push or it's going to reject hard, and then after that fall. So if you are in a position off of Nas based off of what we talked about on Friday, I will almost say take profit and then see how the market's going to react based off of this movement. Until that happens, there's really nothing to be able to do based off of that movement overall. But we have decision candlestick, indecision candlestick. Currently, right now, it's an indecision candlestick. If it remains to be the same, then we may end up seeing the market have a little bit of a flush to the downside first before doing anything for its overall movement. From a 15-minute perspective, what you'll end up noticing is that the market is kind of forming a consolidation. We end up having three areas of natural resistance right here, and we end up having a couple areas of natural support right there. Um, The natural resistance is at 11,460. Natural support is at 11,220 at this particular point. I would look at being able to place in entries to the upside and not necessarily to the downside, only because we got a block over a block. But you got to keep in mind that I think the market is primed to be able to change its market behavior overall, and I don't know. I really don't know what that means when it comes down to this movement and other movements overall. Let's say my XP have dropped $2 or so last week, $1 today, but I did buy more. Okay. Obviously, I know that you're looking at it from a long-term project perspective. So if it keeps on going up based off of the value that you're getting, then you got a great number. Just think about it. If you end up getting in at $1 today, and then after that it goes up to 10. I mean, that'll be a hell of an investment based off of that movement. Um, but overall, Nas 100 is feeling nothing else either when it comes down to this. Let's talk about the pairs that we in real quick, and I kind of leave this alone, and we kind of recoup and get back into it. Bitcoin in on this one at 19,426 with a stop loss at 18,800. If you want to be safe, you might want to be able to get in at 19,000 for that move, 19,900 for that move, but you want to be a little bit more aggressive. Then you can make the move that we end up doing. Um, I end up getting into a trade on Nas 100 for buying earlier today. I can see that the market's starting to fall off a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and take that profit. I'm not going to play around with that. So that's good. Algo Systems end up bailing me out on that movement, but um, there is some potential movement that could potentially happen, but I think it'll probably be more to the upside, just based off of looking at a block over block, and everything goes like that. Now, one other thing that I would kind of say and pay attention to, obviously we've seen on US 30 and on XPX 500, the market has been making more counter trend line breaks. So expect that there's going to be a counter trend line break to the upside, and then look at possibly being able to get into it. But I like how Nas end up defining that there is a little bit more of a support first, or a little bit more of a consolidation first before being able to make any type of moves on this one yet. So with that being said, it's basically in the middle of consolidation. I'm going to stay pat on this one as well for being able to make a move. Uh, Today was very quick. Really nothing to be able to pay attention to for us being able to get in. I just wanted to make sure we end up saying that, unfortunately. But that does give me a little bit of optimism that we're going to start building out a couple more days on the consolidation, which means that when the market ends up having a big pop, we can be able to catch that movement overall when it comes down to that. So, if you like what I end up doing, please make sure that you end up clicking on that boost button. It does help. It does help out being able to grow the overall environment. Currently, right now, we're over 814, well, 15 um, followers. Always cool to be able to talk to each and every one of y'all, and I really wish that everybody would end up just popping in at the same time and kind of being able to have great fellowship when it comes down to that. But we are being able to push. Keep in mind, we do have our premium and our free portion of our overall Discord. If you're interested in being able to learn a little bit more about that, please direct message me a message, and I'll send that over to you. But like always, make sure that you end up planning your trade and trading your plan. Everyone, y'all end up having a good one. I'll see y'all in the morning. Take it easy.